Harry F. Chaddick was an entrepreneur and a philanthropist who left a profound impact on the Chicago metropolitan area. The Chaddick Institute, located at DePaul University in Chicago, advances the principles of effective land use, transportation, and community planning. The Institute offers planners, developers, and scholars a forum to share expertise on difficult land issues through workshops, conferences, and policy studies.
The mission of the Chaddick Institute is really several different things. We work with students, we work with planning professionals, and we provide publications. So the intent is that we provide a service to the planning community, we provide education, and we also bring together practitioners and academics and public sector and private sector people to work together and communicate and think about common problems and solutions to the problems.
The Chaddick Institute really started with a series of discussions between some of the leaders at DePaul and Harry Chaddick's family and his foundation. And we met each other and we found there's a lot of common interests. We both have a great deal of respect for common people, having everyday citizens involved in planning decisions. And a lot of planning schools don't do that. They want to serve sort of the elite, the very technically proficient. We try to reach out to make everybody involved in how to make great cities. And that was a really good match, and we've seen it evolve since then. Our center here was created in the mid-90s. Our programs have gradually expanded until now we have really a whole repertoire of programs and opportunities and publications that make us quite different from other schools because we're quite welcoming.
The ideals of Harry F. Chaddick and the mission, really, of DePaul University are part of what is going on with all of our students that are involved in the Chaddick Scholars Program. They become very involved with the communities, they become involved with the community organizations and the various professionals that work with these issues every day, and so they get the opportunity to actually be a part of that. And I think that fulfills both Harry Chaddick's ideals and the university's mission.
The Institute interacts with DePaul University in several different ways. One obvious one is the director of the Institute, Joe Schwederman, and the assistant director of the Institute, Gloria Simo, are professors here at the university. The other important way it interacts with DePaul is with the students to expose them to urban planning and urban issues and how planners do their jobs and some of the current issues in the city of Chicago and suburbs.
But what's exciting here also is we have a lot of other endeavors that are now making possible us to do new things. Our workshops bring in a steady stream of people that allows us to give us some money to do other kind of projects. We do some survey work for local governments that come to look to us to provide small-scale consulting opportunities. We find we have more resources to help more students, and that's really one of the most exciting things about being the director right now.
The workshops are a 3-hour commitment by the people that are attending. The format is we typically have 3 different speakers, and we do it in a panel setting. And the topics are a wide variety of topics. We've covered things like how to implement your comprehensive plan, how to update your zoning ordinance. The most recent one was achieving fiscal balance among land uses for your community.
The Chicago metropolitan area is continually impacted in a positive way by what happens here at the Chaddick Institute. A lot of our students who never knew anything about planning before will come over here for an event that we have, find out some of the things that we're doing, and want to carry that through into their current jobs.
The publications that Chaddick Institute makes available all have a very practical focus to them. We offer a little almanacs on how communities in the region are growing and expanding. We have documents on what makes for good planning at a local level. But I think that the really distinctive thing about us is we've been able to pull graduate students into about every aspect of our publication process. In addition to our technical planning publications, I've been able to write a couple books on how the closing of railroads around the country has changed the dynamics of transportation and civic life in cities around the United States. And we've gotten a lot of attention for that. It's a national publication, involved travel to all 50 states. And so in addition to being a very Chicago-focused institute, we've been able to sort of make a little splash, you might say, on the national level. You look at where we are, we're probably in the most exciting spot in the United States from an urban development standpoint. And we've been really lucky to be able to take students and Irish professionals and area leaders through the region. We have a mobile workshop series, we charter minibuses, and we give technical guided tours. And we've been several times to Pilsen, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods, just because of the dynamism of the street and the juxtaposition of rich and poor all together in a very creative ethnic environment. We've been to Logan Square several times because it's a gentrifying area that has, just a classic Chicago streetscape that's changing by the day. Of course, our Lincoln Park campus is somewhere we go often because it's our administration for our university, but it's also a dynamic place. Many of our students live there. And we find that just in a few miles from here, you have virtually every urban development problem and every development opportunity you could possibly imagine. You think about efforts to help the poor as well as to meet the demand for luxury living we're seeing downtown. At the same time, we found that a lot of people associate our institute with transportation because it's an area that I spend a lot of time with and become very visible at times in the debate on the O'Hare expansion, which has really been a controversial issue here in town. But Chicago is really the crossroads of transportation in the country, and it's only logical, I suppose, an institute like ours reaches out to try to help professionals, the media, and students who are trying to study, what makes Chicago such an important rail, air, bus, motor carrier center, really for the whole United States. And its role in transportation is just growing stronger every day, as the amount of both passenger and rail traffic goes up pretty dramatically.